Welcome to the channel, everybody. Now today I have a Scum 0.95 and beyond news and updates video for you all. So let's jump straight in, see what the devs have been up to, shall we? So first up first, we have programmers. Our programming busy bees are still at it with bug fixing all across the board. However, that doesn't mean that our upcoming features are on a hiatus, as NPCs are still being worked on extensively. So probably the number one thing wrong with Scum at the moment, especially complaint wise, is obviously the puppets and bugs. So it is nice to see that they are really working hard on fixing those bugs, especially over the last 3 or 4 weeks with all of these upgrades that are coming along as well. Which brings us on to our next point, level design. Now, our level designers are also keeping themselves quite busy with a wide variety of bug fixes, but they are also doing memory profiling and optimizations, as well as a variety of tasks regarding base building elements that include painting color, tweaking, and destruction particles. Also, the team is working on reworking the castle ruins, tweaking the factory chimneys and the passenger building on the airport POI. Here's a sneak peek into the new and improved castle. And as you can see behind on all these images are the new castle that they are currently designing, which we'll go into a little bit more later on in the video when we see the sneak peek. But let's move along now to the art team. Right then, let's not forget about our hard-working art department. The animators are still working on overall bug fixing and the new quad animations, as well as the new trailer and general animation polishing. The collaboration on something special with the CM marketing continues, and you'll be able to see the fruits of their labour quite soon. The hard service team is finishing the quad assets and has started work on the Hellrider Rager variation. They are also still at task of refreshing old weapons, while the soft surface guys are still focusing on optimizing clothing items. So a lot of work going in here by the art team. Obviously bug fixing is a must. They're still doing a little bit of work behind the scenes on something that we do not know of yet, but as I've said, hopefully we'll see that very soon. And on top of that, just a lot of general animation polishing, quad animations, things like this, you know, old weapon polishing, optimization, just really good work from the art team there. And with that said, let's move on now to the sound team and see what they've been up to. Not much has changed for the audio team since the last week, as they're still working on the new dropship audio as well as the overall audio mixing. So that poor guy that is sitting there doing that really tedious job for the last few weeks is still there doing that really tedious job. So you got to feel for him a little bit. But as he said, someone has to do it. So I'm glad someone is doing it. But as they've said, not much has changed with the sound team. So let's move right along. Up next, we have QA/CM. QA does what QA does best: testing, more testing, and then some more testing. So pretty much just doing a lot of testing with all these bug fixes that have probably been going on, future features that are going to come into the game as well, and even the things like quads. So we're going to get moved right along now to the design team. Bug fixing did also not elude our game designers, but they are also putting the finishing touches on the quad and researching new ways to organise in-game assets. So again, finishing touches are now coming onto the quads. I do have a small little video here that we're going to jump into in a moment, just to see those tests going on with those new quads. Bit of a stress test that they did. So as we've just seen, those are the new quads. I say the new quads, the more improved and upgraded quads, I should say, because all the vehicles were taken out of the game, of course, but they have been slowly coming back in better, upgraded versions of themselves. And I'm all for that. You know, yes, it has been a while since they've been gone, but we're getting better versions of them. So I'm more than happy with the wait that we've had to do to get the results that we've got. And they're still not finished. Don't get me wrong. There's still quite a few vehicles to come back in, and we've still got quite a few modular parts to be added to these vehicles as well. But if we're going on what we've seen so far, it's been a good decision in my opinion. And with that said, let's move on to the Q&A. So as usual, I've picked out a few questions that I thought stood out. Is there any news about Wild Hunters? As you can see from the dev update, we're working on armed NPCs, which will find their way into the game down the line. So again, just because we're seeing things firsthand doesn't mean that's all that's going on. Okay, Wild Hunters were teased quite a long time ago, and we've not really heard much about them. I did hear a little while ago that they're probably not going to be coming in now from just you know, forums online, people just saying what they, you know, thought. But it was never confirmed. Now it seems here that they are going to be coming into the game at some point under the term of a armed NPC, and they may already be being worked on. We just haven't seen any teasers, etc. from them yet. It would be nice to have these Wild Hunters come in on top of the Tech 1 armed NPCs as well, because I feel like it will just give life back to the woods, you know, back to the map itself, other than puppets, because obviously puppets, yes, are a bit of an issue at the moment. I'm sure at some point puppets will get sorted out on the encounter system, but as I keep saying, once we get armed NPCs in, dropships, now Wild Hunters, puppets are going to be the least of our worries, you know. But I understand the frustration still. It is something that does need to be sorted out, alright? And I'm sure it will be. But this is good news, because it does mean that we're going to get variants of armed NPCs in Scum, not just the Tech 1 security, etc. that we have seen so far. Now, onto our second question. Are we going to be able to view a maneuverable version of the map on the new mobile phone, or will it serve just its single purpose of that being the quests? So for now, only the quest functionality will be available on the mobile phone. However, your idea sounds like a great suggestion, which is why we'd like you to kindly ask you to share it with the rest of the community in the suggestion forum on our Steam page. Our designers are combining that forum, and they might just come across your idea. So I think this is something that pretty much everyone's thought about since seeing those mobile phones. I think it was one of the first things I thought about when I saw that mobile phone with the quests on, thinking, right, well, surely we can have a map or a GPS on that as well, and surely we can use that to contact other prisoners on the island. You know, I think they would be two other really good features to add onto that mobile phone. But again, if you do have suggestions like this, as the dev's saying, put it in the suggestion forum on the Steam page. You know, they will look at them, and eventually, if they do come across your idea and it is something that will work, you may see it in game as well. Now, we're going to move on to the third and final question. Still waiting for the ability to create private friends-only games like it's been in Conan Exiles and 7 Days to Die since forever. When will there be a player-hosted server for download? I really would like to have my own server on my hardware at home. This is definitely one of the most requested features for quite some time now. However, we can't say anything more on this topic before we hit 1.0. What we can say is that it will not arrive before the end of our early access run, and that will be taken into consideration after that. Sorry that I can't say any more on this, but your voices on the matter are definitely heard. And again guys, just because we're not seeing something come into the game that's obviously the most requested thing from the community doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's just right now they've got their priorities on other things. So to finish today's video off, what we're going to do is jump into the sneak peek from yesterday and have a little look at the level design and those castles. And there's also, if you catch it, some more BB elements there right at the start. So if you can pause it in time, have a look through them, because they are really interesting of what is actually there.
Finally, a chance to meet someone from the level design team. Oh, wrong guy. Hi. Who are you and what are you working on right now?
Hi, I'm Damian and I'm a mid-level designer here. Well, currently I'm working on the B3 sector castle rework, which started with a major POI rework assignment that the whole level design team is currently working on.
Alright, can you show us something?
Yes, of course.
Let's see.
Well, here you can see the castle segments which I made, which the entire castle will consist of. And also the castle in the D2 sector will also use these same segments.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Here you can see the segments have improved mesh and texture quality. The textures were made by my dear colleague Nenad, who currently isn't here.
Oh.
Here you can see I've painted moss and plaster textures on the base material, which will give more detail and variation between the separate segments.
And much more realistic look, I'd say.
Yes.
It looks great. And can you show us the castle?
Yes, of course.
Alright.
here is the castle I'm currently working on. So it's a work in progress. The layout will stay pretty much the same as the old one.
Yeah.
But when you come closer, you can see much more detail on the individual elements of the castle. The castle itself has more ruins. It will look and feel different. You can climb on the walls and explore it in different ways as you see fit.
Awesome.
Yes. So this is pretty much it for now.
All right. And let me ask you, what is the biggest challenge you've had to face on this POI rework assignment?
Well, the biggest challenge in the POI rework is maximizing performance while obtaining a high visual fidelity. This means reducing the model poly count, using better quality textures, and using things like Atlas textures to improve performance.
All right. And what's next for you when you're done with the castle?
Well, after I'm done with the castle, I'll be joining the rest of the team in bug fixing and helping other members in their POI reworks.
That sounds great. And this is still a work in progress, right?
Yes, everything you've seen here today is still a work in progress. We have a lot of work to do before this gets out, but it's going to be a massive visual upgrade to the whole game, so it's worth the wait.
Yep, certainly looks that way.
And how long have you been working here?
I've been working here for approximately 2 years now.
Oh yeah. Thanks very much, man.
Thank you.
So, if you were quick enough to notice the red arrow and paused it, you may have seen those new BB elements, and they are looking good. There's a variety of new wall structures there. Looks like windows, doors, things like this, and I am for that because the BB elements side of things, especially building structures, is being very sort of basic for quite a while now. So it is nice to see them adding more stuff in, as was requested by the community. But that is pretty much going to be all for today. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've made it this far, thank you as well. I really do appreciate that support. Now, I just want to give a quick shout out to our channel members. Thank you very much for your extra and ongoing support. It's always appreciated. If you want to join them, you can do. Head over to his channel, hit that join button, and see what perk suits you best. But, of course, if you want to support me in another way, you can do simply by liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. And that way, you'll stay up to date with all the latest Scum news, armor content, and even that random stuff I like to get up to. Until next time, see ya.